of the budget. Final budget will be presented shortly.
Fantastic.
Donna?
And Scott is gonna join.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry.
I would
Okay.
call them up, really.
Yeah.
He's first. So, as, Stephen has well mentioned, we are, Scott and I are going to talk about 25-26 budget. We presented this to legislative leadership and county executive leadership, and now we will come to you.
funds from the sale of assets to the GCC Association for Residence Halls. And the second one is the approval of an MOA with the association. This is a new document which we felt was appropriate to document the college and association relationship as we invest $2 million with the association. Committee also reviewed bids related to 2 RFPs, and I'll present resolutions for each of those at tonight's board meeting. The first one is the Student Services Building water main replacement. The water main has failed several times in the past and needs replacement. So the low bid for that was $25,000. So I'll bring that forward at the meeting. And the second one is for the upgrade and replacement of the power supply at 3 locations: Student Services Building, Bound Hall, and the airport. These units are currently outdated and need of replacement, and it's critical to ensure reliable power backup and to improve our overall efficiency. And the low bid for that was $53,000. And then finally, the committee is bringing forward the independent auditor's report for fiscal year 2023 and 2024, which indicated the college is in a solid financial position with no material issues. And that resolution will be presented at the board meeting for acceptance of this report. That completes my report.
Thank you. Moving on to the foundation, Frank, certainly a busy time.
It is. I want to thank Diana for the great alumni pins and see them checking it out. She's giving them tonight. Very proudly. Last month, the foundation received the following commitments: $5,000 for the Hudson River State Hospital Nurses Alumni Scholarship, $5,000 for the Melanie Sheehanese Memorial Scholarship Endowed, $5,000 for Dutchess Roots, which is a scholarship established by Scott and Lisa Sweeney to award to students enrolled in the Cannabis Retail Management Program, $5,000 from the Dyson Foundation to the fund for Dutchess, $10,000 for the Laney Orcutt for golf sponsorship, $12,614 change from the Charlie Carroll Music Enrichment Fund for general use, and Bridge to the Future Gala raised $205,287,000 in change, and I think that's got to be a record, right?
Yeah, it's pretty high.
73 tickets sold with 329 attendance. So some upcoming events: the alumni engineering event at the Black Snake Brewery, May the 4th be with you. Honors Convocation, May 14th at the Grandview Golf Tournament, May the 19th at the Canyon Golf Course. And Bernie Williams fundraising music event, partnering with Millbrook Vineyards and Winery, supporting our Performing Visual Arts and Communications Music program. June the 28th, DCC students will be participating and playing with the former New York Yankee Bernie Williams. So alumni event at the Renegades, August the 8th, gates will open at 6 p.m. There's private box seating and barbecue fireworks. Who's the report?
Thank you very much. Association.
We meet tomorrow at, I believe, 2:00.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Next month, get that report. Is there anything else? We have exactly 1 minute before I can start our board meeting. Okay, 6:30 permits. All right, I'm gonna call the April 22nd meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. And you can just call it.
Mr. Bobby Biersack,
Present.
Mr. Frank Costello,
Here.
Mr. Stephen Caswell,
Present?
Miss Dara Cloud,
Here.
Mr. Michael Dupree,
Here.
Miss Angela Flesland,
Present.
Miss Lisa Gardy, Mr. Ibis Guzma,
Present.
Miss Evelyn Panici, Miss Linda Pratt. Here. Quorum present.
Thank you very much.
We want the ears of the present.
Here's
One more.
That's what I thought it's a tie.
Tie.
I could have been. I could have been the time.
Better than the pledge this year.
Okay. Team player. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, a nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There.
So moved. Second.
Okay. You, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, one person that signed up for public comment this evening, Laura Murphy, just want to remind you that it is 3 minutes. When you're at 15 seconds remaining, I will just kind of give you a warning there, so you.
Evening, Dr. Laura Murphy, President of Dutchess United Educators, and I'll first address the approval of the revised designated limited public forum for use of facilities for free speech policy. On September 24th, 2024, when I addressed and emailed the board about this matter, I indicated that Dutchess United Educators would be consulting with our affiliates, New York State United Teachers, and the New York State Conference of the American Association of University Professors, as well as AUP National. I'll just note that NYSET paused their review in the fall when it appeared that the board was willing to revise the policy in response to the SGA and PSO resolutions. However, after we learned in December that the policy would not be revised, NYSET resumed their evaluation process. And while I think it's great that the college eventually agreed to some revisions based on student concerns, and the revisions are a step in the right direction, the changes reflected in this revised policy do not address dues concerns, which are supported by our affiliates, NYSET and AUP. Based on the NYSET Legal Department's opinion, we believe a valid contractual violation of the due full-time and part-time CBAs exists. And I'll provide more detailed information in writing, but in brief, the NYSET Legal Department finds that the DCC policy is in direct conflict with several provisions of the due CBAs, including violations of Article 2, compliance and rules and regulations of SUNY Central, and those rules state that, quote, no student, faculty, or other staff member or authorized visitor shall be subject to any limitation or penalty solely for the expression of his views, nor for his having assembled with others for such purpose, end quote. NYSET also finds that the DCC policy violates Appendix A, the incorporated AUP statement on academic freedom, as well as, and it also constitutes interference with Article 6 of the full-time CBA student engagement activities. Article 6.08. In addition to the NYSET legal opinion, the officers of AUP Committee A on Academic Freedom and Tenure agreed with DO that the DCC policy violates, the provisions violate academic freedom because they, quote, go beyond reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions by establishing a designated limited public forum for free speech purposes, requiring a written application to use the forum, and prohibiting megaphone equipment, amplified music, or other equipment for amplification. The DO Executive Council has voted to file a grievance based on NYSET's legal opinion. However, we hope that we can resolve the matter by working with Dr. Jordan and the board to come to an agreement on a revised policy that no longer violates DO's contracts. If so, it is possible that pursuing a grievance beyond step 1 may not be necessary. On another note, regarding the agenda item approval of the agreement with Carol Gordon Consulting LLC.
15 seconds.
Pardon me?
15 seconds.
Okay, thanks. I want to convey briefly that I, along with fellow DO members, find the proposal to spend $50,000 for individualized executive coaching and consulting for the president's executive leadership team to be an exorbitant expense that diverts significant resources away from the core mission of the college to teach and support students. Thank you. Thank you.
Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from our March 25th meeting?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion or corrections needed? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Moving on to the committees. Dara, you're gonna academic?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Start with academic.
Items for consideration and approval. Resolution to approve the HVAC AAS degree. Dr. Raymond Houston discussed a proposed new HVAC AAS degree program. This degree has been developed in alignment with industry standards and workforce needs, and will incorporate both theoretical and hands-on training in HVAC systems, installation, maintenance, and repair. A resolution to approve this degree at Dutchess Community College will be brought forth at tonight's meeting. And we had some informational updates. The Centers of Excellence white paper. Dr. Houston discussed the draft white paper for the Center of Excellence for Nursing and Allied Health Professions. And we had a PSO resolution. The committee reviewed 2 resolutions from PSO related to the public comment timeframe at board meetings, and another resolution requesting written communication on all SUNY mandates. Responses were prepared and discussed at the meeting, and the committee requests that they brought forward to the board for discussion. And the reminder is, we reviewed general updates regarding the calendar for 2025.
All right, well, you want to read your one resolution?
My one resolution. Resolution number 2025-38. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. I'll do one whereas and then the now therefores. Whereas Dutchess Community College recognizes the growing demand for skilled technicians in the field of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and the critical role such professionals play in supporting energy efficiency, sustainability, and public health. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College hereby approves the establishment of the Heating, Ventilation, and Air Conditioning HVAC Associate in Applied Science degree program. And be it further resolved that the administration is authorized to take the necessary steps to submit this program to the State University of New York and the New York State Education Department for final approval and implementation.
Second. Thank you. Any discussion? So I just want to say this is one of those requests that I have heard more in my time on the board than probably anything else. And I know Frank and Michael are both saying the same thing. The need for this program and the demand in this area is tremendous. So I think that this continues to show how the college is working to meet the needs of the community. It's very exciting.
Also,
Any other comments?
yes, I think it's great. That's our value of college as a community, so.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, resolution carried. Contest board policy.
Board policy, we met on Wednesday, April 9th. Dr. Susan Rogers reviewed the proposed changes by the members of the SGA to the existing designated limited use of facilities for free speech policy. The changes were approved by the board policy committee, and a resolution adopting the revised policy is being brought forward at this point. We have the similar reminders and committee and general updates that has been gone over already. So at this point, I offer resolution 2025-39, and I offer the following resolution and move to its adoption. Whereas based upon this review and input from the members of the Board of Trustees, the policy committee has determined that the college's designated limited public forum for use of facilities for free speech policy needs to be reviewed now, and therefore be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the policy committee and review by the Board of Trustees, the revised designated limited public forum for use of facilities for free speech policy, which is attached and shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, is hereby approved. And be it further resolved that this policy shall be effective immediately, and be it further resolved that the board should consider this policy again within 5 years or earlier if it is determined revisions are needed prior to the scheduled review date.
Thank you. Any discussion?
A little bit, actually. I know there's been some confusion on both sides and church speech regarding me in February, but I want to say this is great. It's a good step in the right direction. Hats off to Dr. Jordan, to Scott, Susan, Felicia, and students on my side are getting this all together. I mean, yeah, it's a good step in the right direction.
We heard the students that you guys were happy with this.
It's definitely, it's more met in the middle compared to the previous version, so it's a good step.
Thank you for telling us that now.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed, resolution carries. Moving on to finance and facilities, we have already heard your report, Mr. Caswell. So your first resolution.
Right, I provided comments on each of these during workshop, but so I'll just jump right into the resolutions. The first one is resolution 2025-40. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas bids were duly advertised and requested for the replacement of student services building water main. Be it resolved that the bid received for the replacement of student services building water main be awarded to VAD Construction of West Harrison, New York. The vendor submitting the lowest price bid, in accordance with the specifications in the amount of $24,624.72.
So a second.
Second.
You, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, resolution carries. Next resolution.
All right, resolution 2025-41. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the existing uninterrupted power supply units in Mount Hall Student Services Building and the airport have exceeded their useful service life. Be it resolved that the purchase order be awarded to CPWG, the vendor who submitted the lowest price bid in accordance with the specifications in the amount of $65,282,031.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed, resolution.
All right, the next resolution is number 2025-42. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas granting the DCC Association $2 million for the residence hall is needed to improve the debt service coverage ratio, support refinancing opportunities, and stabilize the Dutchess Community College Association financial standings. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College hereby approves the granting of $2 million from the sale of assets for the residence hall to improve the debt service coverage ratio, support financing, stabilize the DCC Association finances, and grow enrollment among residential students, and be it further resolved that the president of the Dutchess Community College or their designee is authorized to take all necessary actions to implement these funds in accordance with this resolution, to oversee any related financial adjustments or strategic initiatives.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, Mr. Schnackenberg, I know that you were eager to talk on that.
So I talked about the benefits that the association, how the association needs it, but I think it's equally as beneficial, if not more so, to the college to do this. And that's because without the residence hall, we'd be losing our chances at enrollment growth. The WIG would be unobtainable without it. As I've mentioned before, the 20% growth the past 2 years, I'm hoping to have similar growth again this year. Without the residence hall, we couldn't serve several of the populations where we're having growth. The first one is the aviation students. That is our biggest growth. We have a huge number of aviation students in the hall. Without that, we would probably cut in half, not in half, but maybe a third of our aviation enrollment would go away. Housing insecure students, we have at least 40 of those students in the hall. They would not have housing, but they also would not be able to go to college without the hall. Our athletes, we have a large number of athletes in the hall. Our #1 basketball team, every single player on that team is in the hall. We wouldn't be able to have that kind of buzz around campus. So there's a big part of that the hall plays in creating the kinds of student engagement that leads to better retention and also helps with enrollment. And there's also our 4-year partners where the colleges where they are taking denied students and funneling them to us as a way to get back to them in 2 years. We have a lot of agreements of those where they're students from New York City, and without the hall, we couldn't be, those students would never come. So several of the big ways that we're able to grow would be impacted if we're not able to put the hall on better footing so that we actually have it for our students.
Any questions for Scott?
I would imagine a lot of those students in the residence hall are chargeback students as well, right?
Some of them, yes, there would be some chargeback students as well, so we'd be getting more, yes. Yeah, so it's not just the tuition revenue. The estimate that I would have is without the hall, it's probably $2 million a year that we would lose in tuition chargeback at the revenue without the hall there.
And by the way, we are negotiating with the dormitory already. Your language is being. It's already been written. 2 bills, one in the state Senate and one in the Assembly, carried by Rob Walston and Katie Barrett. Because they live in this area. That should go into, I think they should make something out of committee next week. We're waiting for letter support, and we just worked on Peter not today. And Scott will be polishing it up.
I'll be
Ready to
getting
go.
it ready to go tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. So in other words, because I don't believe, well, Donna said, clarified earlier, we may have met the debt service coverage ratio once or twice. That's been it. And that is a flag to auditors, bank regulators, in other words, who come in and see this. So we've got moved over into special asset category, which means high risk, doesn't really mean special. You choose to define special in certain ways. And so we try to find alternate source of financing. And as Scott said earlier, with M&T, we had a great relationship at one point, but it evolved into something not so nice recently. So we want to look at other people, right, other institutions, other local financing institutions, as well as institutional investors. And the consultants that we were required to hire by M&T are the ones who are telling us that this is the best opportunity we have to put up the cash into the debt service ratio so that it doesn't send out red flags in advance to anybody else. Because the only investment proposal we got so far, as I quoted last time, it looked good until we went into the details, and it was really not so good. And I wish we could have followed it because, well, one of the requirements was that any excess capacity be used for workforce housing, which we're not really sure how it qualifies for educational use, but I don't know how it would qualify for us in terms of regulating people who are in their 40s and 50s, going to come and go freely, not operate by the same rules we have for our students, which are, are in different capacity. So I'm all for this, obviously, not because I think this is the best opportunity to take advantage of. I'm all for this because the dorm exists now. Had I been on this board beforehand, I would have opposed it. I can guarantee you, but it exists. So we have to use it as the asset that can be used for. And I think that it is helping drive some of our programs. Particularly, I know aviation, we actually got a van just to be able to take people back and forth from the dorm over to classes. That was some of our AARP, everyone's plans that we got.
I think it really helps with our mission too. I mean, we've got community in our mission and it fosters community. I had a 4-year college experience where I had to live on campus and that was invaluable. 75% of my education, having to get along with new people and being part of something that was larger than myself on a daily basis. So really, it's essential and it's a great feature of the college.
Right, I know, we discussed this extensively in committee, and there was a lot of back and forth, discussion, and to be honest, we struggled with it a little bit, in granting money to the association. But we tried to look at alternatives. We understand that the association has looked at different alternatives and there really weren't any viable solutions out there. So at the end of the day, with lacking other alternatives and given the information Scott shared with us, there's so many benefits to the college. The committee then did decide to move this resolution forward to the full board here for a vote.
And after a lot of discussion and research in different months of committee discussions.
Yeah, there has been so much discussion on this over the last few months, and I want to thank Steve and Michael. We've met on this just to really make sure that this is in the best interest of the college as well as our students. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next resolution.
All right, the next one is also related to the association. It's resolution 2025-43. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the college and Dutchess Community College Association have reached a memorandum of agreement regarding the use of proceeds from the sale of certain college assets. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the attached MOA, which shall be a part of the official minutes of this meeting. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Next resolution.
All right, my final resolution is 2025-44. I offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the financial statements of Dutchess Community College for the fiscal year ending August 31st, 2024 were reviewed by the outside auditing firm of Bonadio and Company LLP. Be it resolved that based upon the recommendation of the Finance and Facilities Committee, the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the independent auditor's report for the fiscal year 2023 through 2024.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution carried. Moving on to personnel.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just summarize quickly, most of our meeting took place, at the executive session, then was rehashing executive session. But of interest, two of the resolutions that I'm offering up tonight for passage, one of which, of course, we heard about earlier from, Dr. Murphy, and that is the technical board. I think all of us are looking at this as one more way of improving professional development for our faculty, for our staff, as they move forward. And the second one is the SUNY confidentiality agreement. That's basically that will allow us to have confidential discussions with SUNY assistant over issues that might involve their attorneys, because we're not their clients. The SUNY attorneys are strictly for SUNY state operated schools, not county operated ones like us. So this allows for conversations to go forth without violating attorney-client relationships. That's basically it. So if there's no other discussion, I'll go ahead and get started. After resolution 2025-45, move its adoption. Whereas Dutchess Community College is committed to advancing institutional goals. Wait a minute. Yes. Institutional goals through strategic partnerships. That's it, the one number. That enhance operational effectiveness, student success, community engagement, and whereas now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College hereby authorizes the college to enter an agreement with Trail Board Consulting LLC in the amount of $50,000 for a 6-month engagement pursuant to the terms negotiated and conditions negotiated attached to the agreement, which shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved, the president of Dutchess Community College is hereby authorized to execute all documents that any necessary actions to effectuate this agreement. Cited.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please, signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
Did you vote?
Yes.
The next resolution is 2025-46. Be it hereby resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the execution of the agreement with the State University of New York and other community colleges on file with the Executive Assistant to the Board of Trustees. Promote and protect the college's common interest with SUNY and other community colleges in receiving and or discussing guidance and advice in connection with changes to federal law, regulation, and or policy. Thank you.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-47. An urgent adoption. Now therefore be it resolved based upon the recommendation of the president of the college and in compliance with section 5.14 of 2025-2025 collective bargaining agreement with Dutchess United Educators, the unpaid of assets for employees. Number A00250009 is third side.
Third second. Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. The opposed, resolution carried.
I wish them luck. Evelyn. Finally, offer resolution 2025-48 in its adoption is be it resolved based upon the recommendation of the president of the college in compliance with section 5.14 of 2020-2025 collective bargaining agreement with Dutchess United Educators. The unpaid leave of absence for employee A00263494 is hereby approved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I wish them lots of luck too.
All right, moving on to the report of the student trustee.
Thank you. I don't have much, but I'll be brief if possible. The carnival was a big success. FYI, don't be dumped. It's not a fun time. It was a little too cold for my liking, but that's neither here nor there. We had an Earth Day event today with Keith Marks and his band playing beautifully. It was amazing. Also, on behalf of myself and other doctors who attended the gala, thank you, Michael Dupree, for the table. It was lovely. We were the fun table. It's also not important. Like,
You were the fun there.
we were.
The first time I got and danced.
We have to quiet down, but not here nor there.
I was told that we were the fun table.
No, it was us. SGA election come and gone. We have 5 out of 6 slots filled for next year. Rob Yoli will be our SGA president-elect, Sean Brennan, VP-elect, Amy, can't pronounce her last name, Hina or Hina for treasurer, Emily Martin for coordinator of internal affairs, and our student trustee-elect, Mr. Ryan Shook. Figures of our talk with the policy regarding the Jordan and the cabinet. So thank you, Ryan. That was amazing. And that covers it basically. We also have our casino night on May 1st. We're gonna have prizes, food and games, fun times. Other than that, that is my report.
Thank you very much and welcome, Ryan. I think having the last 2 months certainly speaks to your dedication. So we look forward to getting.
A lot of anxiety.
It's okay.
It's a learning curve, you'll think through it.
We'll
excited.
bring you up to speed.
We're nice, I promise. We'll be nice, I promise.
We're not. Moving on to my report, so DCC hosted an aviation open house on April 2nd. The event drew a record-breaking crowd of over 450 guests, including over 170 prospective students eager to learn about our aviation programs and facilities. They took part in workshops, toured Conklin Hall, connected with faculty and staff, and had a chance to experience a flight simulator. From the ACT Center, Dr. Jeanette McCoy was recently appointed as the NACADA, the National Academic Advising Association Region 1 2-year institution liaison to the Region 1 Steering Committee. Try saying that twice. The appointing body reported that Jeanette's longstanding community college academic advising and teaching experience, combined with her stated interest supporting students' transfer pathways and strategic partnerships among 2- and 4-year institutions, garnered overwhelming support from the steering committee. We look forward to the upcoming athletic awards, where several of our students will be honored and our teams for their great work this year. The Counseling Center is partnering with Family Partnership Center to raise awareness and promote the prevention of sexual violence every Wednesday throughout April in recognition of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Frank, in his report, spoke about the great work going on at the foundation right now and all of those scholarship commitments, as well as the huge success at the gala this year. SUNY awarded $500,000 to the college through the Head Start on Campus initiative in order to establish an infant care classroom in partnership with Astor Head Start. NICET approved the college's 2025 through 2030 Collegiate Science and Technology Entry Program project renewal, with the award amount dependent on the state's passage of its annual budget. The college requested $449,000 a year over 5 years for a total of $2.45 million. Marketing and communications has had a lot going on in terms of initiatives, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen press releases from them, and it's certainly good to see that. The marketing and communications team has actively been promoting DCC's recent accomplishments. Since March 10th, the office has issued 9 news releases highlighting a variety of topics, and those have been published in a lot of the local media and have also been getting traction on social media, which is where I've been seeing a lot of them. The 2025 Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence. So this year, the Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence, we have 3 students from DCC, the President of Student Government Association, Raheem So, Carissa Lee Thompson, and Caitlin Oles. The award ceremony will take place on April 29th in Albany. Lastly, from the Learning Commons, the Open Educational Resources, OERS, savings for our students. So we currently have 54 OER courses with 6 additional courses in development. The cumulative OER student savings on course material from fall 2017 to spring 2025 exceeds $5 million. So that's great work. I remember as a college student not knowing any better, going into the bookstore my first term and, not knowing if I bought a used book, was it the same thing? And I didn't have older siblings. So I went in there and bought all new books. And I think I spent more on books than I did on tuition. So seeing, these resources available for students and additional savings for students is a great success. Dr. Jordan, your report.
Thank you, Chairman Preston. I want to begin by thanking the board for the decision, the deliberation, the focus on our strategic plan and the growth of the institution, and the granting of those funds to support the association. I truly appreciate your action on that effort. So thank you. I want to introduce two new members to the President's Cabinet. Starting with, and I'm gonna ask them to go to the podium and introduce them, tell us a little about themselves. First, Dennis Dentino, who is our new CFO, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Dennis, you heard about from me last month, that is joining us on April 1st. So we had the foundation throw him that wild gallop. So, and Jason, who you'll meet shortly.
Yeah, that was some party. I really appreciate it. So I'm Dennis Dentino. Just to tell you a little bit about my background, I've met many of you already. I've been in higher education my entire career. My first 10 years were at Columbia University. I was in the audit and finance division. I then moved on to Polytechnic University in Brooklyn, where I kind of moved up the ranks. I have held several different financial positions: controller, budget director, assistant VP for finance, and ultimately becoming the CFO and vice president for finance and administration at Polytechnic, where we undertook a $100 million campus transformation plan, capital plan, where I was chair of the working group with faculty and staff, students. Ultimately, Polytechnic merged with NYU, became the Tandon School of Engineering. I was asked to stay on at NYU as the Senior Vice Dean for Finance and Administration. Most recently, I was with NACUBA, National Association for College and University Business Officers, where I was consulting, giving advice to colleges and universities throughout the country. I'm so happy to be here at Dutchess Community College, and I look forward to working with all. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Jason Ryan, who is our new Chief Information Officer, Associate Vice President for IT. There is a Poly connection there as well. Jason is a graduate of Tandon School of Engineering, but was there when it was Polytechnic University as well.
So first of all, I want to thank you. I'm glad I didn't go first. Thank you, Dennis, for setting the stage. And also, once again, thank you for the wonderful party. It's really good.
Thank you, Foundation.
So yes, my name is Jason Bryan, as you all know. I've met a few folks on the board already. Definitely met Michael and Peter as well. So my background is, well, it started off actually in the private sector in telecom. I worked initially for NYNEX and went through their various mergers, including the final one becoming Verizon. Then I moved on over to education, where I worked for a private school in Westchester County, where I was in charge of network engineering over there. And that's where I had the opportunity to also complete my degree, my first master's degree at Polytech, which eventually became the Tandon School of Engineering. And then I was tapped to become the next director of network engineering at Guardian Community College, City University of New York. At the City University of New York, I eventually became the Chief Information Security Officer and obtained a second master's degree in digital forensics and cybersecurity. So I also hold another hat as a Chief Information Security Officer, which will be advantageous here as I try to help to increase the posture here for our cybersecurity awareness, as well as our security measures that are in place. I'm excited to be here. Unfortunately for the Guardian, they were very upset to lose me, but I'm happy to come here. I'm a member. I live here in the Hudson Valley, over across the border in Orange County, and I've been here for about 15 years or so, and I love it here. So I have family that's actually lived here in Dutchess County. My sister used to live in Pleasant Valley, so familiar with the area, usually attend the Dutchess County Fair every year, and definitely I'm very happy to be here. I don't think there's anything else that I have, I think we've covered everything here. Other than one last thing, I just want to also say that that I'm looking forward to being able to bridge the gap with technology here at Dutchess. I know that we have some things that are working very well and some things that we want to improve. I think that we're a little bit behind in some areas as I've done my 2.5-week listening tour, and there's some things we can improve, and not everything costs money. Some of it also requires us to be a little bit more transparent, and so I'm gonna work on those strategies for us and see. Move us in the next direction. By the way, the airport was wonderful. I did go to that open house, and yes, it was packed, and I enjoyed it. Also, an aviation enthusiast, even though I don't.
I always said I'd like to have a second campus. I'd like to have a second campus built to another airport.
I like my office over there as well.
Thank you, Jason. And Dennis and Jason, you made Donna really break a smile this evening when you said not everything. The last thing I'd like to do is extend a shout out to one of our unsung hero groups, which is our academic support areas, an area that includes tutoring, our writing center, the math and science center, or testing and C-STEP and EOP programs. And this time of year, these are offices that truly step up and begin to support students as they prepare for finals and for graduation and so forth, but also throughout the year, but by providing tutorial kinds of services and supports for students. So join me in extending a shout out to our academic support areas. And now that I have Dennis and Jason here, they round out our team, and I am going on vacation.
That is a good thing. Is there any other business to come before us this evening?
Just quick announcements. I want to make sure that people knew that President Jordan is now on the board of Anderson Center for Autism. People didn't know that. A little bit of community involvement, and Dr. Emmett House is now on the board with me at the Hudson Regional Hospital, an institution near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
Just want to let you know. Yes. That's it.
I'm looking at the date of our next meeting and realizing that this is our last meeting before graduation. So just want to wish all of our students and our faculty and everyone on campus the most success in the next couple of weeks. And that also means that our student trustee will be graduating.
Maybe. Kidding.
So we certainly look forward to a lot of success, and obviously a lot of stress on campus in the next few weeks. But look forward to seeing everyone at graduation on the 16th, and there are a lot of activities happening. Before then, I said to Joy, I was like, no, I just took off the 14th, 15th, 16th. I was like, there's too much going on. It's the only way I can guarantee I'll be there. So we're obviously very proud of everyone in our campus community for everything that they will achieve this year. So our next meeting is May 20th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Get out.
Thanks, Angela, for running back.
Yeah.
Oh,